This is Jamey with Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in the digital deck building game Griftlands. Griftlands was recommended to me recently because I played and really enjoyed Slay the Spire. I have played it, I will continue to play it, and so I gave Griftlands a try because it sounds like it has some really unique elements to it. I have some printed screenshots here, very high-tech, to show you. So if you are a digital gamer, you're coming to this channel for the first time, I mostly talk about tabletop games, but there are a lot of deck-building games in the tabletop genre, and so I thought it would be interesting to try this out. Griftlands does some really interesting things. It's similar to Slay the Spire if you've played that, in that you are progressing through a series of different challenges and trying to defeat opponents. But there's a lot more of an RPG element to it, or a JRPG element of it, where you are talking to people along the way, and you are not only choosing to fight different people, but you're also sometimes choosing to negotiate them and kind of sweet talk them or engage in verbal challenges with different opponents. And so that is one of my favorite things about the game, and it does so in a really unique way. I kind of taken some pictures of it here. So this first one, I've encountered this guy or girl, I don't know their gender, and I can choose to be the aggressor and attack them if I'd like, or I can choose to negotiate with them. And in doing so, you enter completely different challenges that use different decks of cards. So you're not only building a combat deck, you're also building a deck of cards built around the concept of negotiation. I think this is so clever that there are two different decks, two different ways to interact with opponents. I really like that. I really also like in this game, and one thing in Slay the Spire that I've noticed is that I often want to get out of a battle as quickly as possible because I want to keep my health up. In Griftlands, the same applies. However, every time you play a card in Griftlands, the card gets better. Or it moves towards getting better. So it's a digital card game, and so the game actually tracks every time you use a card. There's a little status bar, progress bar that says, okay, you've used it once, you've used it twice. And the card, if you reach a certain level of status, I think if you've used a card like 6, maybe 7 times, it levels up, it gets a little better. So the game is essentially incentivizing you to stay in negotiations or combats a little bit longer, and use it so you can use those cards more often and make them better for the next challenge, which might be more difficult. I think that's really clever, a great implementation of a digital deck building game there, because this would be a lot harder to do in a tabletop deck building game. Also, I didn't encounter this in the short time I spent with the game so far, but I also really like that with any enemy that you are combating or negotiating, I think it's mainly in combat, but it might happen in negotiation, they reach a point where they are about to die, essentially. You're about to kill them. And you have the option of not doing so. The game says, okay, you have the option to let them go, to not finish them off. And if you do, you might lose some of the benefits that you get from finishing them off. But at the same time, you don't make a sworn enemy of them by doing so. At the same time, there could be future repercussions. They might come back to haunt you later. But I love this idea that you can fight someone, but not have to actually kill them. You can fight them and show, okay, I have asserted my combat skills over you. I'm going to let you go now that I've shown you that I've almost defeated you. And that kind of defines your relationship with them in the future. I think that is really clever concept that I'd like to see in tabletop games as well. Those are my 3 favorite things about Griftlands. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments if you've played this game or if this reminds you of any other game, whether it's a tabletop game or a digital game. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks.